Hello everyone. So in the previous video, we went through the explanation of the problem statement for the question add two numbers and the way to approach this problem. In this video, we'll be actually solving the question using JavaScript. So without further ado, let's get to it. Let's start with how we're going to iterate through the linked list. So for that, we'll initialize two pointers, P1 and P2. P1 will point towards the first linked list, P2 will point towards the second linked list. Then we have four cases to handle. The first of which says that while we have two elements, that is one element in each of the lists available for us to process, which is this case, that will be written something like this in JavaScript. Then we have another case where we still have values in one of the lists, let's say the first list. So we keep moving forward there. Then the third case would be same as the second case, but for the other list. Which is P2. And lastly, if we have any carry left over, which basically can be written down as if carry is not equal to 0, we will add it to our linked list as well. Okay. So we have our pointers. Let's talk about our carry, which can be initialized with a 0 value. Then the answer that we're actually supposed to return, which will be the head of the linked list. Therefore, it will be a node. And then we need a temporary variable that can keep track of the current value inside these loops. So that will be, let's just call it a temp node, which will point to the answer for starters. And then we'll keep appending nodes to this very answer so that our linked list is formed. All right. So let's initialize the node that will store our current answer. Then I will say, okay, temp node is the one that will track the value inside this new node. So first I will point temp node to the new answer node. And then I say, okay, let temp node be the very node that will track the current value. Temp node's next node should be the new answer node. And then temp node itself will become the new answer node. All right. So that basically looks something like this. We have the answer, we have the temp node, let's call it Tn. I've initialized a new node. I've pointed temp node's next node over here, and then I say, okay, you know what? Make temp node this very node. That's all I've done so far. Now, to actually calculate the sum is pretty simple. We take the value from the first list, then the value from the second list, then add the carry to it. That's our sum. The value of the node that we have just created, which is also the temp node as we have defined it, that will be what we discussed in the previous video, which is sum mod 10. Carry will be sum divide by 10. In JavaScript, we have to keep in mind that division operator gives a floating point output, so we will have to cast this into an integer. Now, we've done this. We have to move forward to the next set of numbers, right? We do that as such. P1 will become its next node. So will P2. And we have to repeat this logic for the other cases as well, because all the change that we need to do to handle it is that we simply have to not consider P2 because we've already taken care of it in the above condition. and we have to remove P2 from here. Similarly, in the next condition, we are going over the remnants of P2, the remaining nodes of P2. So we have to discard all instances of P1. So I can replace that by P2 over here. All right. I think there's an extra bracket over here somewhere. All right. Now, if we have any carry left over, we will create a new node for it. And I will simply say that, okay, fine. We have a temp node, assign the value of carry to it. Now, we can return our answer, but not like this, because our answer is actually this dummy node. The real answer starts from this node right here, right? Which is the next node of answer. So we will return the next node of answer. Let's try to run this. Okay, a small syntax error, I think, in line number 23. Let's correct those. Okay, I can't do this because I've already initialized temp node. That's certainly an issue. That's JavaScript for you. All right, let's try to submit this. And our solution should be accepted. That's how you solve the problem add two numbers using JavaScript.